Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Interesting People of Earth, your digital campfire for meaningful dialogue about life, purpose, and all the things that make us human. Today, we have a really cool guest. I'm already cheesing because I feel so honored and so grateful that he decided to be on the show today. Today's guest is Kemo, founder of Omek, a robust online digital community for bicultural professionals. Omek connects bicultural professionals in the African diaspora into meaningful job opportunities, career growth, and global networks. We will dive more into Omek and we'll talk a lot more about it, of course, especially because Kemo has to define to us what he means by bicultural. So we will definitely talk about that. But a little bit more about you first, Kemo. It seems like over the past 20 years, you've lived, studied, and worked across Africa, the US, and now you're in Europe. You founded startups. You've built nonprofits. You've played various leadership roles in community organizations. Something that I found really interesting when I was looking you up was that you first started in banking, and then you founded a soccer foundation or organization or competition, and then you built a dental office. I feel like you've done a lot of things, and I have a lot of questions. So I hope that we can talk about that too. But let's first start from the beginning. Tell me a little bit about you. What's your story? Where are you from?
Good. Oh, nice. Where do I begin? Where should we begin?
From the beginning?
Yes, I'm originally from Guinea. That's a good place to start. Yeah, you're right. I lived in Guinea, lived also a bit in Mali,
Okay.
then moved to the US, then Germany, and then now living in the Netherlands. So I've been moving a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, my origin story is that I always start by saying I'm like one of the most privileged human being on earth, just because of the jackpot that I got for being born in like an amazing family.
Yeah.
So I don't take it for granted, and so I own it. And yeah, I didn't make the decision, so that's what I'm like. Yeah, I'm super super lucky.
Yeah.
So my parents had 9 kids, so I'm like, yeah, one of
Children.
one of those. Yes, absolutely, seven boys, only two girls.
Oh my God.
So it's a big family, but actually those 9 kids were like the smallest part in our family,
Okay.
because they raised like a whole village. They raised like literally in their compound they will have like between 40 to 60 people living there in one place.
How come?
So yeah, that's a good question. So basically my dad was one of those people who were like really school smart, book smart.
Yeah.
And so because of that, and he was born in this village. And then all his siblings were like, you know what, you're too smart to be doing the agricultural work. We just divide up your part of work that you need to do, because at that time, if you go, I mean, people will have a lot of kids to help them with their agricultural work. And so the more kid you have, the more labor you have, the richer so it was that. And so his brother's like, you know what, I'll take care of your part. I'll add that to mine, and then you go to school. So he got sent to school that way, and then he got lucky and then worked hard and then made a good living for himself. Therefore, all these brothers started sending their kids to him. And then it was like all the sister, all the immediate family, all the cousins started sending, then all the village started sending. And then it just became that space where you send your kids to him to raise them. So he will raise those kids. My mom's family will do the same thing. So they will have like people come in there, they'll raise them, and they'll grow up and go to school, graduate, and then send their own kids. So it just became this revolving door. And then a lot of the time there's aunties or uncles who always come to visit, and they'll come in, they'll be there for 6 months, and just like, so the house was like packed like all the time. And then when we also grew up, our friends from school will come, they'll have like a sleepover, and then sleepover would turn into like a week, and a week would turn to months, and that would turn into like forever.
How did that feel?
This is like, that's how you grew up. That's the space. So it was beautiful because you have So essentially we have my mom, my dad, and then we have like tons of aunties that come in the revolving doors. You have a tons of uncles that you're like, one day you woke up, there's a stranger, it's an auntie that came in, and then boom, like just keep going. And then you have, in terms of the kids, you have like the older sisters group,
Yeah.
like age group, like you have like really like, let's say 30s, and there will be like maybe 5 or 6 of them. And then you have like a 20s, and then it will be like that group, and then you have a teens, and you have like, so it was all, the boy side is the same thing.
Yeah.
And so like there was this structure. And then within that ecosystem, everybody knows their space. Like you respect, like that is just like a space where you respect people older than you. And if you're older than someone, you protect them and you support them. And then so like there's that hierarchy. And then everybody got your back.
Yeah.
So you doesn't have to like worry about yourself.
Yeah.
And but because of that, then it's not about me, myself, and I at that point. It's like you're focusing on supporting others as well. So you have like your place in this ecosystem that I call like the human technology. So we have like this beautiful human technology that's like just work, amazing. Like the kids who have so much fun, like people in our age group who have like so much fun, joke, like you have to know how to defend yourself because otherwise it was just like, that's the kind of environment I grew up in. And so that became the DNA of me, my community building thing, because I basically grew up my whole, life that in the community. Yeah. Like that family is like huge, and it's a support system, and you know what it means to be around other people, what it means to support other people, what it means to like contribute in the community, in the society, and then like, so that's, so I grew up in that. That's the space. Yeah, that's my beginning.
I feel, from going back to Nigeria myself in the summers, I feel like that's a very natural dynamic that you see in certain African households. So it's really interesting to see that you had that like times 10 of probably what normal people, other people always have like some family member coming in and staying, but to have 30 to 60 at any given time, that's a lot of people. Yeah. I'm sure that you've reflected on that as you've gone older, as to how that's defined yourself. I mean, you just talked about how that's how you became a community builder, because you were born into pre-existing community where people understood their roles. I have like a twofold question. One, was there any conflict? Like there's a lot of people. There's no way there wasn't. It was always understood what people's roles were, and how was conflict managed? But also, how did that affect you, like personally, when you're making friends, how you're deciding to live your life? Like, how did growing up around so many people, you are one of 9, but your parents' love is being shared with so many people. How did you reconcile with that in such a positive way?
Yeah, I mean, because that's what I again, I keep using this privilege. Yeah. Because that's not, for one, it's not given to everyone to like be born in such family where like like such a huge, but in Africa, in the West, basically that really is it's an outlier. It doesn't happen that way. But in Africa, it's kind of like a lot of the time it's normal. Yeah. But the thing that made it different, thinking about it, is that in our family, especially our 9 kids, we get along like extremely well, because that's what our parents instilled in us. Like the whole time, my mom, into her last breath, was like, "Yeah, I need to get along. Yeah, I need to get along. Yeah, I need to get along." But like, they show us that. Yeah. But the way that was actually built in the system is that, like I was saying, there's like mom, dad, then there have uncles, aunties, then you have sisters, and then different hierarchy based on the age group. It was extremely clear that you respect your elders. You cannot, at any point, disrespect your older brother or older sister. Okay. There's a consequences for every action. Okay. So you have a place in that system, you respect them. Okay. So but the respect was not always one way, like, oh, you are younger, then you respect them. You have to know they have that space, because there's a different structure, right? Like the age group, like I was saying, for instance, 30s, and you have like that group of 20s, and you have a teens, and you have a lower than that. And so, if you're in the 20s, then there's people above you, like the 30s, that you need to respect. And so also people below you that need to respect you, right? And because you're in that position, it doesn't mean like you have the authority over and then like take advantage of that.
No.
Like that's something that you need to, because you also have aunties over you, then you also have a parent over you. So there's like this respect that's there. So we know that's your position because you're older than me. Then your job is to protect me, right? And so for that, I need to respect you and then give you that respect, because, and then it's kind of like a build that way. And then the parent were like really conscious. I mean, we're human. Sometimes I can get frustrated and then like be mad at my brother or like my sister and I say something. And when you do that, they'll call you and you get that punishment. And you see like it doesn't like, so you kind of grew up that way.
Yeah.
But like between your age group, then yes.
Much more complex.
Yeah. But like for us, like then you have to learn how to defend yourself. Like not physically fighting, but like trash talking, making fun of you and picking on you. And then that was the fun part, because man, maybe it was fun because I was picked on. I was like, no, you couldn't expect, it just was like, it is what it is. Like, for instance, you will go out, like, I'll give you an example. I went one time, I wanted these shoes. One of my friends had like these really dope shoes, right? And then I wanted that so bad. And then I'm like, every Eid is like the Muslim celebration holiday that happen. And so like your parent to give you money, or you collect some money and then stuff like that, or throughout the year, like you get money here and there, and then like for chores, and I put all this together and I went to buy these shoes. But unfortunately, it was a fake shoe. It was a fake brand. But man, I was the coolest kids. And in the house, like I came in, I got these shoes, like, yo, my shoes is dope. I get the shoes, I impact the shoes, and I go put the shoes in my house. Like, I mean, the house, like, we share the bed. Like, that was like, it's a collective space, right?
Yeah.
And then I put my shoes, and everybody just goes, when I got out, went to inspect the shoes and just check it out, and then realize that it's the fake brand. And then so we'll basically in our compound, like we eat lunch together, and then we have this tradition, or like it just organically happened. We eat and then we'll go sit. There was a stone outside the yard, and we'll go sit there under the tree.
Okay.
And then just like digest, but like we'll just talk and have the conversation and like just stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what like the magic happened.
Yeah.
And then everybody came in and sat there, and then I came last. Oof.
Oh, I already see it. The roasting you got.
Oh my God. And then this is the brand new shoes that I have that I've been wanting for so long.
You saved up money?
Yes. And I have no idea. There was no way for me to believe that's true. And then at first I thought they were picking on me, and then they were like, just couldn't stop. And then, so like that kind of thing, like no one could escape. Like, it was a fair game, like, but it built character, and it just like built this love between you. And so, yeah, it was mostly.
I really love that. I feel like I grew up an only child for most of my life and moved around a lot. So I always envied people that grew up with a lot of siblings, that stayed in the same place, you got pre-built community that was healthy, it sounds, and people kind of knew their place because they respected their place. And so they acted accordingly. I think that's really amazing. And I'm sure it's done a lot to build you into who you are today. And so what would you say are, let's say, 2 to 3 core elements of who you are today that you can say, it's because I grew up in this environment?
Everything. Yeah.
2, 3. You're
like everything. And because what my parents did, like raising other people's kids, like the whole village, the whole region, like the whole tribe, like it just, so basically, like their philosophy, and then that's my life philosophy now. Like the best way I help myself is by helping other.
Yeah.
Because like the joy, the pleasure, the satisfaction that I get out of that when I support someone, I help someone with it through Omek, like someone like, yo, I got a job just because of Omek.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be like the life change in that, like the other stuff, or like connected with people, or I didn't know like this network existed. I came to this event, I met these people, or I heard something that completely changed my mind. Like when I do that, like knowing that it just had that I had the privilege to have that impact on someone else.
Yeah.
For me, that's everything, because like it make me feel good internally. Like that's satisfaction, like just helping other. And that's what I got from my parents. So that's my life philosophy, and I got that from the community building that I'm doing today is the legacy that they have, like that they left for us, you know. So like basically it's everything. And then like also having like your question, like having that kind of family and so many people coming in and out, and then like in that environment to like, when you think about it today, it just seems like impossible not to have so much because it become the space for so much drama.
Yeah.
Because you have people come from the village, and you people come from like all background, different experience, different education level, and all that stuff. But not to have a drama there that's just solely to do with my mom.
Wow.
She was like this calming, like best human being that God created on earth. Like literally, she was just like peaceful. Like it just, that was the vibe to her. Like you just can't, like she was like, don't do this. This is what I need to do. Like, so she was able to like, build that space, to keep this space together. So
That's so awesome. She sounds like she was an amazing person.
Yeah, she was
very powerful.
With best human being. Like now I know because she passed, but like anyway,
No, of course. I mean, that is someone that was that still will always be so important to you, and it's beautiful that you can remember her and keep her alive through all these people, including you, that she's impacted. That's how she stays.
Yeah, I mean,
I
mean, for me, I honestly like, because for me, that's why I guess we'll get to Omek and everything that we do. But this is really important as a human being to know that you come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you come from, like, you standing on the shoulder of like people before you, like whether it's your immediate family, like me and my parents, right? But they also have their parent, and then, the parent of their parent, that like this go back. And for me, that I know I come from, like, my immediate parent did think that's amazing, unimaginable. Like literally the thing these two people did is just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, the reason I even left Guinea to go to the US, and then like all the vision that I had to go all do that, because my dad was like extremely successful in the government. Like he was like really high ranking in that government. So that was like professionally, he was like extremely successful.
Yeah.
But he managed to take that success and leverage it for his community, for his like direct family, expanded family, like raising all these people, like that's my family, but like for his whole tribe, for like, so I mean, to the point where honestly, like there's nowhere I feel like I can go on the planet where there are Guinea people there, and I say the name of my dad, that they don't know him. That's the kind of human. Yeah, like literally.
Yeah.
Like even when I came here, like this was the same thing in US, everywhere I go. Like when I came here, I went to the Guinean community.
Yeah.
The first thing I was like, yo, my dad is so and so. And everybody was like, that's your dad? Let me tell you this. So that's the kind of legacy he's had. Yeah. And so for me, I came to the US, I'm like, my things in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. Like my dad has this level. So the goal for every parent is to like have a kid that's maybe more successful than you are. And so I'm going to go to the US, and I'm going to learn everything and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to try to like at least meet that or like exceed that. So that was my thing, to like, be more successful for my dad, because he's going to be proud of that. And I remember one day I went back home, and then I look at like, because I started building community and I started understanding that side of it.
Yeah.
But when I was growing on inside it, and then the whole thing, for me, it was as a kid, it's like, these people are always talking. They're always like a family meeting. They're always like, it's always, always, always. You enjoy it, but you like, in a part, which is important because it kind of build it in your DNA without realizing it.
Yeah, it's not.
Because you see it, you live it. And then I started realizing, I'm like, wait, this guy's legacy is not the professional work. Nobody's going to remember that. The professional success, no one is going to remember that.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
But like the impact that he's had on people, this community side is actually his legacy. And I started looking at that, I'm like, whoa, I got work to do. Like this man, like literally like, I was like,
oh my goodness, big shoes.
I bought the shoes that I was like, the size that I feel is like, size 8. It's like, yo, I got, coming to the US alone, maybe I'm size 4 already. So I see it. Yeah. It's 8. It's not that far. And then I look at the communities, I'm like, yo.
Size 14.
I don't even know what size it is. I don't even know the extent of it. That's the problem first.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal role model to have. And I, maybe, you are very humble about this, but I can already say that people recognize you with already. And I've been here for like 4 short months. So you're definitely on your way.
Oh my God.
You're definitely on your way.
If you think, like literally, like, think about whatever imaginable, like my shoe size right now. Like the shoe size that I'm trying to fill in is like, I don't even know what is the extent of it.
The limit doesn't exist.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is exciting in itself to say like, sky's the limit. As long as you're on the journey which you're on, like the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
But like there's something you're not just imagining, you know what I'm saying? You've seen someone doing it.
Yeah.
You live it. You're still living it today. Like literally, like for me to come in here in the community, it's like, say my dad's name and people know it. Right. And in the US, it's the same thing. Like if I go to any country, even if it's in China, as long as there's a Guinean community there, right, that lived in Guinea at his time, either have heard the work that he's done, or like heard his name. So that kind of impact that he has. And when I say he, is like not only him, because he was able to do that because he has this amazing human being, which is my mom. So like she basically did, like it's the same thing. Like I'm not gonna, like, yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's amazing that you're able to recognize behind every, that saying, what is it? Behind every strong man is an even stronger woman. I have my own personal take about that, but I think, it's amazing that you're able to recognize that your mom was the foundation of that. So let's talk about then, so you're born in Guinea, you have this beautiful foundation of community, 2 amazing parents, super power parents, but then you decide to leave Guinea to go to the US. How did that decision happen? And how was your journey in the US?
Yeah, I think I touched on the decision a bit. Like, so basically I wanted to go to the US. For me, I had this very linear thinking.
Okay.
And which is weird because at the age that I was thinking this, is just like, kid at that age, come on now, like. But for me, it was like, I did not like so much. I remember this clearly because I stopped watching TV, like especially in the news in Guinea, because I was like, man, I don't believe that everything like this World Bank and the IMF and then like so-called international institution will come in and then the thing that was saying. But for me, it was like always interesting to see like, how do you move a country from point A to point B? Why did they call like these countries, African country, whatever country that I'm in, underdeveloped or like develop, whatever term, like which I don't like anyway, to another country that they call, developed country or advanced country, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you go from a point A to a point B? And so I was really interested by that. And so for me, the solution was like, you know what, if the capitalistic system is what that make that happen, the finance, like that whole economy. And then, so I'm going to go to where people learn this, which is the US.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to the best school that they have. And I'm going to have the best experience there.
As one does.
And then when I come back, I'll be sitting at the table with like these guys coming in, and then not much they can tell me.
Okay.
So that was like my linear thinking, like just go there and learn from where learn. It wasn't even about the money.
Okay.
Go there, learn from where they're learning from, work where they're working and get that experience and come back. and come back and sit at the same table. And then now you can, because now you figured out how they're taking the country from a point A to point B. You learn that you can come in and do the same thing. Yeah. And so that for me, that was the thinking. And because my dad was working in the government, that's what he was doing, supporting, Okay. And so I'm going to come in the government and I'm going to be in that level. That's the part of what I was talking about. Like, I wanted to make him proud. I wanted to do better than he did. Yeah. All the work that he done that I wanted to do that. So like that was like the linear thinking was like really clear.
I understand now, because you thought like he was able to achieve all of this because of the material resources and the position that he had. But then you went to Guinea, you're like, it wasn't just that.
No. I hadn't even connected his community achievement side. I was thinking about, because he was like really successful helping the country in whatever industry and the line he was in. Yeah. He was like very honest, very hardworking, and very like doing that. And so that success for me, we all went to school, and we all have this trajectory. Like we have someone that inspired us to do that. Yeah. So I was looking on this side, and this is professional side of the thing. Yeah. Right. And so I wanted to come in professionally. I can also be in the government and succeed and be in the minister position and all that. That's success. That's what I was thinking about. Community has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I've been told the way to do that is like go to these places, learn everything they're learning, come back, and then start making your way up in the ladder and the government. And then that way you can help in the country from that perspective.
Okay, so then that clearly didn't happen. So what happened then when you moved to the US? And because you went into banking, so you were definitely like on your way. What did you study? And then what happened?
So I go to the US again, so much energy, man. Like I get that I'm like, yo, American dream, I got this. Like, watch me. Mm-hmm. I get there. The first thing was like, yo, first of all, we don't care about you. Yeah. So put yourself in your place there. Yeah. Dude, like, you don't speak our language. You come here, you speak French. All the other 6 languages that you speak, we don't care about it. So you're like, I came here as somebody because I was at the university, my first year at the university, I had my network, I had my connection, I had my family, I grew up in, and my friend and all that. And I come to the US, like, you ain't got none of that. And nobody cares about you. Like, by the way, if you don't work, you don't eat. Like, go to work. Like, by the way, you like come from a place where it's not cold. Here is like freaking New York. And so I had to change my mindset.
African immigrant experience, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, my people know what I'm talking about. Like, so I'm like, okay, it's a different mindset. The dream that I had in my mind, like, it would be like fanfare, like waiting for me, and then like I'm gonna go straight to Harvard, and then like all the, like, you know what I'm saying? No one told me like, you see the American movie and all that stuff, like fancy car, fancy house, all this stuff, and nobody telling you like how you're gonna get there.
It's called propaganda.
So I'm like, yo, okay, go look for a job. You look for a job, you can't even speak the language, like all these things. Like,
and how old were you when you moved?
I was in my early 20s.
So yeah, like a hard time.
So I was like, okay, I get that. Okay, change your mindset. Like now, roll your sleeve, learn the language. So I will work always from like, let's say 8 to 5 p.m., go to school 5 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m., get the train, get home like 11 p.m., eat, shower, do my homework into 1 a.m., sleep, wake up, 5 a.m., get to work. Like it was that cycle. And then you got to do what you got to do. So you go to school, you work, you get the money, you pay for school. And nobody told me when you come to the US, you have to pay for school.
Yeah, it's expensive too. It's expensive.
So anyway, went through all that. Had my education, and then again, still the dream was there. It was like it's still really clear. Work in the banking sector, so that was great. Was in succeeding there in the management level, and then I realized I came in, and for me, my mind was clear because I was like, I have to be in the finance space and the finance, and it's mainly banking, and then understanding that because I'm going to work with World Bank, IMF, and all that. And then I realized like working in the banking is not aligned with my values. Why? This is like when I was like really succeeding, I was going in the leadership role and then all that stuff. And then I had to make a decision to quit banking. So I left banking, I went back to school. And then I went after school. I went in corporate America.
So what did you go back to school for?
I went to school and then did my BA, bachelor, in business administration. And then I went back to, in the corporate space, in the procurement strategy and then all that.
General Mills.
Yeah, General Mills.
Okay.
So I went in that space and then loved it. Great company. I loved the culture. I loved the people I was working with. It was amazing. But yeah, so I was there. I enjoyed it because I was learning a lot. But at the same time, that's when I started realizing like I could not help myself but be part of the community. So I was like Guinean community, all this community association. Then that's when oh, because I never had a conversation with my parents like why community is important. They just did their thing, and then we just grew up. Yeah, we just saw them doing it.
Yeah.
And when I got into New York, I mean in the U.S. and in Minnesota, first I was in New York, then I moved to Minnesota.
Okay.
That's why I started working for General Mills and then the bank, all the banking, all that stuff. And so in the evening, I'll go to the community building part. I'll be part of all type of community, and the Guinean associations, football and all that. And then I created my own, like a mini African Cup.
That's where that comes from.
Yes, because especially I think all the immigrants will understand this. Like soccer is a common, for me, it was like the common language that we speak.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so let's use. I'm thinking soccer or football, depending where you are.
Football.
And so that was a common language. Like I'll go with the Ghanaian, community, and we play soccer after playing football. Anyway, we sit down, we talk.
Yeah.
The Gambian community, and so I'm like, as an immigrant here, this is a common denominator. Right. Yeah. And so to use that to bring us together. So that's what I started, because as a community builder,
that's smart. Yeah.
So I started using that. And I'm like, you know what? We all know about the African Cup, right?
Exactly.
And so let's replicate that here and we play our own African Cup. So it'll be throughout the whole month, every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll come together, we'll play, and then all the way to the end of the month. And then the winner take the thing. So sometimes we'll have between 8 to 12 different countries.
Oh, so it must have grown because you became a focus.
Yeah, we did it for 8 years.
Wow.
And so because of that, I was able also to build my community, grow my community footprint beyond only the Guinean association, like all these African brothers and stuff like also. Yeah.
So then from there, is that when sort of your early ideas for Omek started, or Omek is not really even a thought at this point?
No, not.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, when in the States, I met my wife there, Kes, and so we had our Baba first kids. And then at that time, Kes really wanted to leave the state. It was like, oh man, let's go somewhere else, let's do something else. And me, I was like very involved in the community. I was like had the soccer tournament, which was growing and all that. As a Guinea association, I was like, Guinea Association in Minnesota, local, and then also in the national, like would you organize a soccer tournament for the Guinean Association from different states and then coming together. So I was a part of that committee, also organizing. I was like, like the mosque community. So it was like so many different communities. So I was like, and this sport, I loved it.
Yeah.
I'll work 9 to 5. And get up 5, each of these community will have a meeting. So throughout the week, I will be consistently doing.
My gosh, you're also clearly an extrovert. You have a lot of energy.
Whereas I have a wife at home, and then she's like,
poor Cass.
Yeah, for me, I didn't understand that was the problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I love doing this. I'm like, I'm telling you what is happening. So I'm coming home consistently at 10 p.m.
She's like, I don't get the luxury of doing this. I have to be home with the kids. Yeah.
So we have this joke that she found a job in Germany just to get me out of there.
It was also probably a good job. So she was like, let's go.
So yeah, we did that, and then finally, that was happening. Kes wanted to, and then we're like, okay, that's fine. Let's figure it out. Should we go to Guinea? Where should we go? And then during that time, this company came in and it's like, yo, do you want to come to Germany and then work here? It was like, first for oh, it's a joke, but yeah, have a conversation with them. one thing led to another, like less than 2 weeks. Like, hey, come over and do the interview. And she flew in and came, did the interview, everything worked, and then we packed our stuff.
How did that? I mean, obviously you're going to go where your family goes, and you're happy, obviously, to move. But I'm sure that felt like a lot. You really embedded yourself in your local community, and now you're moving to Germany, another country where you don't speak the language.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
It didn't feel that hard.
Yeah.
It didn't feel that hard. It didn't feel in familiar space. It was actually very familiar.
Yeah.
Because in Guinea, again, this is part of that I'm touching on. My dad worked for the government almost like the time we were growing up, like he was, like making his way up. And so almost every 2 or 3 years, they will like transfer him to a different city, different region in the country. And so we're like moving consistently almost every 3 years.
Oh, so you were used to this.
So I was used to this.
Okay.
So like going to different region. And so like that was always an excitement for us because you have like, think about all these kids together sitting in the car or in the van or like whatever bus and traveling together. For the idea of a travel was like so exciting because we're like laughing and like, so like it was in. And so, and it was a good company to move. And then the condition, like the whole thing was like really like amazing, like we are going there as an expat. And then, so that part like felt good. Even like I was basically, the way I moved from Guinea was doing the same thing. I built this huge network that I knew already in the US comfort. Yeah. I was in my comfort zone, to be honest. And to like drop all that and go to Germany was like, it would have scared some people. But I was like, yo, let's go. Let's make it happen.
Used to this.
Yeah, this is an adventure. Yeah. Let's go for it.
Well, so it was amazing. So how was that the first few years in Germany and adjusting to German culture and all the things?
That was fun. That was.
Are you sarcastic? You can be honest here.
No. It was fun. Life is perspective. It's like the way you look.
Ask us.
You can ask her like, so this is what happened. If you live in US and you live in Germany, it's like a totally two different world. One is like complete, like if we look at Germany, order, organized, like the law or the rule are made to be obeyed, like to follow, and that's just the system. Compared to the US, it's like Wild Wild West.
Up to interpretation.
Like that's how like I compare the two culture, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so we come to Germany coming from the US where it's like, yo, small government, all you come to Germany, it's like everything that you need to do, we need to learn. Like even if you coffee, you need to like tell the government. If you're moving, tell the government. If you everything is registered, you have to go through this process. Everything's procedure. Like you can't even escape. Like your address, like everything. And then when you go, people that's working there, like the sense of humor is a different. Like if one piece of information is missing from your document, you got to go find it. Like it's like you see it from like maybe it's not that bad, but coming from the US, you have a different mindset. And so like American coming to Germany is like complete like it's like, wait, why can't you like look it? Interpret it. No, there's no interpretation. This is what it is. Just
black and white.
Stop making my work. Why are you making my life so difficult?
It's not like you had a fun time integrating.
And so when we came, this is what we realized early. Like, anyway, let me give you an example to illustrate this. 2 months into Germany, we're living in this village. Like when you come in, the company give you a space until you find your own space.
Yeah.
So we're like in this small village, and which is quiet. And in that. Not village, like outskirts of like the city we live in, which is Nuremberg, right?
Oh, okay.
And so it's very quiet. It's like a lot of older people that live there actually. So that make it even quieter.
Yeah.
And I was with my son. Kes was at work. I was with my son, Baba. He was like 2 at the time. Okay. And so he was in the stroller. We're going to the grocery store. And then I come in the stoplight. This is quiet city, village. No car coming. Left, right, no car. There's a red line. Nothing coming. Across the street, I was standing with an older lady across the street with my kids. So I'm basically crossing the street, breaking the rule, but endangering a kid, a child with 2 years old. So that's what's going inside her head. How dare, how irresponsible, how? I'm like, yo, I'm just American. Like, I can do this in New York. Like,
She's like, you ain't in New York anymore.
so she way into the light change. There was no car, nothing came in. She crossed and she went to catch me on the other side. Oof, this lady like gave it to me.
Damn.
Like she was screaming at me and yelling at me.
Experience
and
the
like,
German wrath.
and I have no idea what she's saying. But I'm like, but she's pissed.
So you just know she's mad.
Okay, grandma. My lesson learned.
Yeah.
Thank you for the integration. That was my German integration. But like the reason I say it's fun because basically what we did earlier on was let's look at it from this outsider in perspective. Let's look at it as like we don't have a control for what's happening here. So basically, whenever we have this is like whatever is happening here is give us a like story to tell.
Yeah.
So whatever happened, if it's we can call it, I forgot the term, Kes can probably remember. It's either adventure. If it's a bad experience, we call it adventure. And if it's a good experience, we have another term for it. So like that experience that happened when I go and that kind of thing happened, I'm actually excited to come home to tell Kes like, yo, I had an adventure today.
Yeah.
This is what happened. So we kind of like didn't take it personal.
Yeah.
We took, that was extremely helpful.
Yeah, I think it's a really healthy mind. So it doesn't get to you.
No.
You know what I mean? You learn what you need to learn.
No, absolutely did not get to. Also, we like knew at some point, like, because we kind of like had this adventure mindset.
Yeah.
Like whenever like this old lady, man, like the old people in Germany are like the gatekeeper. They are, I love them. Like, and so the way we crack the code is this: they love kids, and they loved our kids. Baba had this big hair, and baby also came in and has like this big, beautiful afro, and they were like a mixed kids. So that was their soft side. And so when we do something,
like, here, the kids, look at them.
When we do something, we know they love our kid, and we just put the kid, and then they're like, oh, okay, they have a beautiful head, yes. Then so
let's talk about them. Yeah.
So we figured out, like, but it wasn't personal.
Yeah.
But like with some of our friends coming from the US, didn't last too long. They were like, we can't deal with this.
You have to have a specific.
Yeah. So for us, it was like, and the Kes was writing about this a lot on Facebook. Like she would put in this category, and then people really loved it, like following her. Like it's like, yeah. So it's like, oh, she would come from work. I have adventure today. I was like, tell me. Oh my God, let me tell you about my adventure. So we kind of compare, and it was just funny. It was just funny.
Yeah.
So that was the best way to go.
That's a really healthy way to look at it, and I definitely want to, because I want to move towards Omek and talking about the bicultural conversation, because I feel like it really also helps explain how you were able to adopt that mindset.
Yeah.
But we can sort of tie up Germany a bit of like, how then did you evolve from, okay, I'm in this new space, and knowing how you are and your track record, what community did you join, and how did you start building a community in Germany?
Yeah, I mean, that's you can see the common thread here.
Yeah.
And it's all come to the community.
Yeah.
It's basically like another way of talking about community is just like having human, like ability to connect with other human.
Yeah.
And you can't connect with other human if you're not a human. So basically it can boil down to being a human and understanding that aspect of yourself and how do you connect with other people. Yeah. Irrespective if you're like introvert or extrovert. Like I'm an extrovert, like I'm like extra extrovert.
Yeah.
Like, and I love it. And so, and that's my competitive advantage. I understand, because if you're community building, you're dealing with other human. And if you have that, if your energy actually is coming from
a genuine place
and then dealing with a human, that's a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
For the thing that I do. But like that human side, that human technology that I got growing up were always helpful.
Yeah.
Like when I went to the US and I started becoming like myself there, like acculturating myself into the American culture and language and then work and then all that and became an American, that's when I like really started like thriving. And then again, I hadn't put these things together. I was just doing it. I just love doing it, right? It was like when I came to Germany, and I was like, yo, I built this huge network in the US. I was somebody in the US. For God's sake, I quit my job. Like I came here, I don't want to come. And now I came in with a different mindset where, like, when I came to the US, I knew I was a nobody because I had to like start from scratch, right? So when I got hit by that, like code, culture, food, like language, like everything was completely what I didn't expect. I rolled my sleeve and then I built it because I was humble. Like, you know what? I gonna figure this one out. But like coming to Germany, I wasn't as humble.
You built up your ego.
Because I built like, the age wasn't the same now. Like now I'm coming from a Western to a Western culture to say that.
Yeah.
And then I had build this and I had the professional life and I have a social life and then I'm coming here. It's exhausting to be starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, I had in my mind and I'm like, that would like wear normally people down, which makes sense. So I understand because I was in that space.
Yeah.
Right. And I wasn't coming also as an immigrant. So in the US, I could say like I have the immigrant mindset to be humble to like figure out. But this time it wasn't that. I'm coming from like a social class that I had built. I had worked hard, I had to earn. And so I cannot like come here as an immigrant.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's that part. But I would have made it a lot harder to quit and go back. Right. What helped is my human skill. It's this community DNA part. Because I'm like, yo, I know how to build community. Everything that I build in the US, I can build it here.
Yeah.
So basically, I relied on that skill. I'm like, the common denominator is playing football, right?
Yeah.
And so I go on the street. That's my thing. I go on the street one day with me, Kes, and Baba was like now two still. We go on the street and saw like three black guys sitting, in front of the restaurant. And we're walking by. I'm like, yo, people, what's up? And they're like happen to be a Cameroonian, so they speak French. And then, and I'm like, yo, my people, like, what's up? Like, we started talking. I'm like, all that stuff. You guys, like, play football. They're like, yeah, we play football. When you play football, we play every weekend. Like, we come together, our community come together, we play on the weekend. Cool. Give me the phone number. Where is it? I go in there. I'm in my space now.
You don't even need to speak the language. Let's play. Let's play. Yeah.
I'm in my space.
Yeah.
And so, like, automatically, I incorporate in that space. I play football with them, join the thing. But I've been building like soccer tournament in the US.
Yeah.
So I already know that. So I actually started bringing something to them that they didn't even expect.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, we can organize this, or we can do this, and we can organize soccer tournament, and so I quickly became part of that. They embraced me. There's like a huge Cameroonian community.
Okay.
Embraced me, and we play against
random, but okay.
we play against Ghanaian community who started playing with the community, and it's like automatically, like less than a couple of months, I already had my community there.
I see why you call it human technology.
I also was going to school.
Yeah.
I was going to an international school. I started to do my my master in development and economics and international study, which I'll come back to that in a bit. And so I was going to school because it was an international school. I said, yo, I'm a community builder. And so like quickly the whole class was like, yo, Kemo, this is you like our default and natural leader here, even though they had like a leader already that was elected because I came, a couple of weeks late.
Yeah.
And they're like, and so I started building that ecosystem and bringing people together, organizing them, like sharing different culture, and then like organizing, okay, we go to my place, I'll cook the African food because like we have people from all over the place.
Yeah.
I'll cook the Guinean food and what I look at, and then I'll bring all my West African, the Ghanaians, all that plate. We cook the West African food, and then we invite all the people like from all over the place.
Yeah.
And then next we'll go to someone from, let's say, China.
Yeah.
And then, so they do that. So I kind of like organized that. And it was like really amazing. Our group was like dope.
Wow.
So I built that, and then I used that them too, like, yo, let's start playing football And even though I was in the community team, but like this one, let's also use the football, and then we'll play football once a week. And so even like some of the teacher, because in Germany, people also play football there. So there's that culture. It's like that became, so we have a German people or like teachers, like some of my teachers are my best friend today, still to this day. And so that I built that big community as well. So I like to build, and then also the kids were going to kindergarten. And so there's like the parent there, and we build a community there.
Nobody was safe. Everybody was going to play football.
So we build that community. So it was like all this little community that we're building. And so like it made Germany home for me.
Yeah.
Like by the time it was 3 years, I was like, yo, man, that's
life was good.
That's my space. And I was going also to the mosque there. And guess what?
A community
join that community as well. So like everywhere if you have this human skill, like literally you can go and meet people where they are and fit in there, and then just like, So for me, automatically people like, that's why like my German experience, because of this different community that I built, my German experience was amazing.
To be an emotionally regulated, mentally healthy extrovert. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it looks like. But that's awesome. And that's obviously a testament to your skill, your community building skill, that, the common denominator is you. Wherever you go, you're able to bring people together, because not just because you're an extrovert. There's a lot of extroverts that don't necessarily care about bringing people together, but because you genuinely want to connect. That makes you happy.
Yes.
So then, is this where Omek begins?
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
So the story of Omek. Everything that we talked about right now, these are like the background of Omek.
Yeah, the foundation.
The foundation. This is like the source code. This is where it's all coming from.
Yeah.
So basically, when I was in Germany, I went take this master program I told you about, right?
Yeah.
So in that master program, it was very international. And my goal for taking the master program was, because I came to the US with this linear thinking, I'm going to go there, learn everything about this, capitalistic system, how you move a country from a point A to point B, have the work experience come back. That never left.
Okay.
It never left. I work in the finance. I realized that's not my thing. I work on the, general strategy building was like way, again, you have a dream, you have a vision. How do you get to that? So I started learning the skill. I was implementing that in the community building. So I'll go community. This is the vision that we have. All the hard skills that I got from working at, at the bank, like all the success, I was bringing that to the community building.
Yeah.
So I had community building. I had the hard skill from, corporate space, right? And so when I came to Germany, development economics was a missing piece of the puzzle for me.
Yeah.
Because I community building for almost at the micro level of moving people from a point A to point B.
Yeah.
Or moving, like a country from a point A to a point B. You can't move if you don't know how to move people.
Yeah.
So I done the community. So when I saw the development economics, I'm like, this is a missing piece of the puzzle. So I'm going to take that, do my master in that, and then learn how to do now from the macro level. Yeah. So how you take a bigger, country system to move from a point A to a point B.
Yeah.
Right? And then I can leverage my people skill, my community building skill, hard skill that I learned, strategy and then all that from the professional space to bring that together. That was the thing. So I'm like also excited, and I signed up for that program.
Yeah.
And in the program, 1 month into it, I was like, this is BS.